This video was taken only hours after a disastrous 34-hour sail from Luperon Domnican Republic to the Bahamas. It breaks down everything that went wrong, as well as what we could have done differently, and a few laughs. This video should be watched in conjunction with my day 1 and day 2 video of the 100-day challenge, as well as Nicole's video on her channel. This video is meant to serve as a learning experience for prospective sailors on what not to do. As well, this video was filmed while we were still extremely tired from our long trip. So if you seem a little bit loopy, that's why. All right, enjoy. All right, let's do a quick recap.
Okay.
So my recap starts at 4 in the morning when there's somebody breaking onto my boat, and what this one doesn't know, and I actually forgot about because I thought it was all a dream, was I smashed this part of my forehead on the wooden part trying to get out to deck somebody, and I came around with a left hook ready right for you. Nicole just decided that the day before our biggest sail, like, we will not have a sail this big unless we decide to do something ridiculous.
Thank goodness, I'm never doing that again. Ever. Ow.
Yeah, so she's like, you know, Daniel's sick, you know, needs to get all the sleep he can get. About to go sailing.
Let me go over.
4 a.m. Better go see how he's doing randomly to be cute and sexy. And I was nice about it, but I was like, get off my boat.
I didn't sleep at all that night either.
I got that feeling, yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense for you to not sleep and for me to sleep. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
And then we left at 7.
We left at 7. We get out. Nicole's kind of following my lead for the path we're going to set, because we don't quite know what the conditions are going to be. And I'm going like straight out to the ocean, and Nicole's like, shouldn't we turn? And you weren't wrong, but I was just like, I just want to get to wind. And we had just gotten a wind, and I had a reefed main and a full jib up.
And a squall hit.
No, hold on. We both see a squall coming for like the longest time. Like we had like an hour.
I actually didn't see it.
Okay, I have it on camera like 100 times. Like, oh, I wonder if we'll miss it. Oh no, we're not gonna miss it. Okay, this is definitely coming for us. And I say that for my own. I realized I didn't get rusty. I just got lazy. I know all these things. I just didn't have my foul weather gear up here, so I just got wet for no reason. I should have also too. I mean, I wasn't sure what the winds were gonna do, but yeah, in hindsight, I wish I had only had the jib up, because I wish would have been like, wee. Yeah. We both got broached upwind hard, but you had two full head sails up.
Nuh-uh. Well, I had my staysail, which is a storm sail. Yeah. And then my jib, which is full, but it's a Yankee cut. And then I had a double reef in my main. Oh,
well, it looked like when I saw you broach, it looked like, cause my boat.
Oh yeah, I went way over.
Yeah, because like my gunnel, like my cockpit hit the water.
Mine did too.
Yeah, it was like.
Kaijin was washed to the side of the cockpit. I was afraid he was. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. That's how I started my trip.
Oh my gosh.
Kaijin looking at me with these sad, terrified eyes, like, what is happening to me? So come save me. Yeah.
I will say, like, I thought we had another minute or two before it hit. That was very dumb.
I didn't think it was gonna be that windy.
Yeah, it's always that bad when they come. When you feel the temperature drop and the size of the raindrops, and that's kind of how, you know, like when it's little raindrops, it's like, okay, it'll like come on, it'll stay a while, be a while, but it'll be chill.
Was that the only squall you got hit by?
No.
I got hit by 2 more.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, my cockpit's pretty dry. I was mostly pretty good. I averaged 7 knots.
That's
I was
awesome.
Surfing nonstop. It would have been, I thought about it though, I would have taken on a crew member had I not been buddy boating with you. But just for my pride, I couldn't let you solo sail and me take on a crew.
Yeah, I should have taken on a crew member.
Both should have. It's just...
That was a pretty serious shakedown sail.
Yeah, it's the biggest sail of this whole season that we're gonna do.
Yeah.
There's no other angle that we could do that would be more.
No.
But yeah, no, I mean, I think I radioed to you. I was like, just take the main down, just jib only. After that squall, and because we were like right next to each other when that squall hit, we were like dangerously close. So I kind of moved away a little bit just to like not be there. And then I was like, as soon as I got done broaching up, I was like, cool. I think I dropped my main, and then I just shot downwind. And once I started going downwind, I was like, life is good.
I should have kept my main up, but I took it down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where I messed up.
Well, like, eventually, when I finally saw you after that squall, like, I had, like, 2 miles on you, and I'm like, what the... I was like, what happened?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I guess I was trying to get Kaijin down below, and I don't know.
So you just spent more time, like, heave to, and I was just trucking?
Yeah, I think I can't remember. I don't know what happened.
When did let's count off the things that broke for you. What broke first?
What broke first?
Was that be your head sail?
Yeah.
Okay, so you probably had to deal with that then.
I didn't really see the tear until I went to go pull it back out. I saw the sacrificial was torn.
But the actual sail was torn?
I only pulled out this much, and I saw 2 tears in it. And I was like, I'm not pulling it out anymore, so I rolled it up.
So it might be okay.
I have no idea.
Oh, fun. So that one went for you. When did your autopilot go?
During the squall. One of the wires that I soldered together, or clamped together. I haven't slept in a while. They just disconnected, so I have to rewire those.
So it's just a little bit of electrical.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like anything mechanical. No. You got a nice little
blood blister.
So, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then
your hands are so. Put that to the camera. They're so red.
Yeah, this held the tiller the entire time. This one.
Yeah, you're a lefty, huh?
Yeah.
You like to sit on the starboard side. So I think pretty much what happened was the squall hits, and then I'm like trying to radio to you, and I'm like, hey, like just head sail only, like no main, because I figured that's what was gonna happen for our whole sail, and I was right. Like it was just, and the surf got like pretty good. Like I had like during the night, literally the waves would come, and they would always be this close to coming over the back of my boat.
They were big.
They never
waves.
did. But no, I don't know about you.
Was your main out?
No, I didn't put my main up until I went to go get you.
Oh, okay.
I went jib only from that squall the entire time.
See, I would have gone jib only, but I did staysail only because I had a tear in my jib.
Yeah.
That's why I was so much slower.
And that thing's not as far out. It doesn't have as much sail area.
No.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. So I want to focus on that because that's the big moments when we get separated.
Yeah.
So once I finally see you, because initially when the squall hits, I'm like, okay, I need a little bit of distance so we don't run into, because we were close.
I thought you were gonna hit me.
I thought you were upwind to me. How could I hit you?
But you turned upwind, obviously, because of the squall.
Oh, I broached. You may have broached after me. Okay, so you thought that
you crossed in front of me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I got some footage of you.
Yeah.
In the squall, like when I could.
Okay. I got footage of myself, but my phone won't turn on. It's dead. And it won't charge.
Oh my goodness. Starting out the trip. Day 1, baby.
So
Day
bad.
1 of 100.
Everything is so bad.
Everything is awesome. So that was the big moment though, as we get separated, and when I finally can see you, it felt like it was more than a nautical mile.
You got some distance really fast.
Really, really fast. I think I was just taking waves, and I was like going with the waves and with the wind. Like I was pulling I was definitely like hitting up to 10 knots, and probably averaging like 6 or probably like 7, 8. I think is what I averaged during that squall.
I wish I could have my jib out.
Yeah, and so then when we
then I would have probably kept up with you.
100%. So I see that you're not catching up with me. So I roll in like 50-60% of my jib goes in. And I'm doing like 4. I went from 8 knots to 4 knots, and I was
That's about what I was doing with my staysail.
No, I know, and I'm trying to radio you, and your radio, you had gotten water in it.
Yeah.
I could hear it, and at one point I said that to you. I remember I was like, hey, like I was like trying to get the water out of your mic, and I could like hear you like blowing it out or whatever. And I was like, awesome. And I couldn't really hear what you were saying, but I could hear your tone. And your tone sounded like you were annoyed, but okay.
Yeah, I was annoyed, but okay.
Okay. And I thought you'd said Luperon and go were like the 2 words I vaguely thought I heard.
Okay.
And turns out Luperon was not one of the words.
No, I said, I'm going slow. You go.
Oh. So what went through your head? Because I'll be honest, like I was torn. Like I waited for 2 hours, and I just.
You really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, straight up for 2 hours. I was jib was 50-60% in, doing 4 knots, and I just kept looking, and I'm like, how is she getting further away? And then I'm like, she's going back. She broke something, so she's going back to Luperon, and there's no like. It's not even that like. Let me put it this way. Like my train of thought at that point, it wasn't even like should I go back. It was like. it'll be a lot harder to go that way than this way. Like
Yeah.
160 nautical miles, here I come. That was my train of thought, was like, I'm just too sick.
That was my train of thought too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, because there were a couple reasons why I could have gone back if I didn't actually want to continue going, but I wanted to go to the Bahamas, and I was like, no, I'll deal with it. But there were a couple times where I looked at Cote d'Ivoire and Monte Cristi and thought about anchoring there. Because I was going so slowly, and I thought I would be doing 2 overnights. And then the wind eventually picked up, and I was averaging about 6 knots, and I was like, okay, that's doable, but before I was going about 4 knots.
Yeah.
And then, and that would have been over 35 hours. I think it would have been 42 hours.
But, I mean, remember me saying, like, Matthew Town is a place you could approach in the night.
Yeah.
With a depth sounder, which you wouldn't have had at that point.
Well, I didn't have my Navionics either, because my phone.
No, but you don't need Navionics, though. I mean, you at night,
Yeah.
That's just scary every which way.
It was
That's
so scary.
super scary.
Because fast forward, unless we can.
Well, yeah, let's try to get going. So anyway, so what's going through my mind, though, is like during the squalls, I'm like, should I just totally turn back? And I'm like, that's a lot of wind. I don't know if I can even get there. And I see how far you are, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I am dead. Like, I was way worse than I am right now. I've had so much more time to bounce and hydrate, and I have hydrated like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Constantly, but I was just like, I remember what went through my mind as I was like, okay, I don't want to leave you, but like realistically, like, what could I actually do?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I wasn't going back to Luperon. No chance.
It never occurred to me, though, that you would lose your navigation, because that is something that I can help with.
I lost it later on.
No, I know. Okay, so that helps me a little bit, but I felt horrible, like, the whole way. I was like, what do I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? And then there was all this, like, thinking of, like, dude, if you're... Because, like, your radio was terrible.
Yeah.
Your dad thought you had, like, a proper VHF, so he was like, well, we're gonna have to figure that out then. So he's gonna help you with that, I think.
Well, I have one. I just didn't put the connectors together because I didn't have one of the connectors. I'm missing one connector.
Do you now think having a proper VHF is prudent?
Yes, I had one on my old boat. Yeah.
Okay.
I know how important it is.
Hey, remember, I had to suffer because of that choice.
My choice that I made?
Yes, because I was the one that had to be like, well, crap, what do I do? Because if you had that, we could have just communicated.
Yeah.
And I could have known what happened.
Yeah.
So somewhere along the lines just after that, I remember I was like extremely exhausted, and I thought I was hallucinating a giant golden ship and a Coast Guard battleship. But I got them on camera. I think they're real. They're real. They're definitely real.
I think I saw those. I saw those.
It was a golden ship. It was a giant like oil refinery.
What that was.
It's weird as hell.
Yeah.
And he's like, the Coast Guard ship is like right off my my starboard side, and then he cuts behind me. And he gets close behind me, and I'm like, sailing vessel Adventureborne to the U.S. Coast Guard ship directly off my stern. And I do both radios. I do high and low frequency. Nothing. And I'm pissed about that because he easily could have bounced it with his souped up VHF and been like, hey, your dude wants to know how you're doing. And then you could have been like, broke this, keep going, and then I wouldn't have stressed so hard.
I thought you understood that I said go on. Because I was going so slowly. I was like, you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that you didn't hear that. Because I heard you say some things to me, but they were super muffled. I couldn't understand what you were saying.
Yeah.
Because of my little handheld.
Basically, yeah. Because it does make sense. Like, if one person's going to go slow, for the other one to go ahead, suss the place out, which effectively is what happened, is I sussed out the best place for you to come into. Like, it did work out in the end.
It did.
All right. So after the squall, so after we stopped seeing each other, I try to just settle in and stay dry and kind of get in the rhythm, and I'm just super dead. And I remember at one point being like, it's not so much, there was a couple moments where I was like, it's not so much I can't really go back and help her, as I was like, there was things I wanted to do on my boat, like I wanted to put a whisker pole, I wanted to do this and that, and I was like, anything goes slightly wrong, I just don't have the energy, I don't have my strength.
Yeah.
And that sucked. I did not like that at all. So I had to kind of like rein everything in and like just be super, super docile sailing.
Oh yeah, my autopilot, the wire broke. I think we just said that. So
During the squall?
Yeah.
So you only got like 2 hours worth of autopilot?
No, nothing. No autopilot.
Oh, you were hand that, because you were like, I'll do the autopilot later.
Well, no, because I was just getting out there and I was going to set my heading and everything, and Or I think I'd plugged it in, and that's why, I stepped on it or something during the squall.
Jeez. We both definitely...
I could have gone back at that point, but I was thinking, no, I'm gonna...
Yeah.
I'll just hand steer. That's what I decided to do.
So I had...
All the way from Luperon.
Jesus Christ. That is a long ways.
I was getting out of Luperon.
Yeah. No, you wanted... Okay, so hold on. So real quick on that. So this was kind of funny, is I'm sailing, and I'm, like, figuring things out, and I'm like... pretty sure this, I'm pretty sure that, because I really didn't know. I really just didn't know. And eventually I'm like, she had to have said she's going back to Luperon. That's the only thing that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of hit me. I'm like, dude, like, you're doing... And I remember, like, I looked at the weather, and I'm like, well, when's the soonest she can come out? And I only have, like, 3 days of weather. Mm. And I'm like, oh, it's none of these days, and this and that. And then I was like, damn, I'm like, I'm just doing this by myself again. And I got really bummed out. I was like, what am I even doing? So I had to kind of, like, pick myself up out of that. And, like, I did. I, like, got out of it. But, like... I got really sad. I got really, like, really off track there for, like, a bit. And, it wasn't great at all. I was like... So anyway, so, like, when... Yeah, so basically, so I figured out that there was pretty much, like, 2 options. Is you either got back to Luperon, or even if you went back to Punta Rusia, you would have had cell reception, and you would have texted me. Mm-hmm. So the whole thing is I was very anxious to get to some place to get internet.
Oh, okay.
And because of the weather that I had said there would be a northerly coming, which not really so true. Mm-hmm. But it basically meant that, like, if I checked in, I would have to, like somehow, like, night sail back around. Like, I'd be screwed. I basically had to come here. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, it's okay, there's a resort here. Okay. I'll go there, I'll get internet. I drop the paddleboard, I go in, it's abandoned. I'm, like, screaming for people. I'm like, anybody here? And then I'm like, crap, my whole plan just went out the window. I'm pulling out Garmin's, I'm pulling out everything, because I didn't think, like, when you go to look it up, Starlink doesn't give you internet. Yeah. But then I was like, you know what, maybe if I hit starlink.com, it'll just give me that, because that would make sense, right? Like, because there's all these things that do that, where they don't give you internet, but you need internet. Oh, yeah. And thankfully, Starlink does do that. Starlink does give you the limited internet access to change your stuff. So I'm looking through all the plans, and I'm like, global priority was the only one that I, like, as I tried 2 others, it just didn't work. And I was like, screw it. It's like $250. Yeah. And I was like, screw it. And then the messages come through, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I was just, like, so happy, because I was like, I'm going to see her name. I'm going to know then, like, cool, she's someplace, she's safe. And then your name isn't there. And I'm like... And then I'm like, okay, first thing, I was like, call Jay, because the other thing is, like, if I'm going to stay here, Jay is going to call the Coast Guard and be like, Daniel didn't make it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, so first thing then is call Jay and be like, don't call the Coast Guard, I'm fine, like, leave me alone. And I told him, and I'm like, hey, dude, he's like, I tell him everything. Right? And pretty much, and my trip was pretty much just me being super tired and sick, and, like, my autopilot doesn't work. Way different. No, I know. Yours was way harder now. But basically, my autopilot doesn't catch the helm, so, like, I have to balance the sails perfectly, or it'll skip, and it won't do it. So I sleep with my foot on the helm, and I could figure out that I could see red or green. Mm-hmm. Meant red I had to kick down, green meant I had to kick up. Okay. So I would do that, like, throughout the night whenever, like, a big wave would come, and then I'd get slammed, and I would turn and look around, I'd eat something, I'd go back to bed. Mm-hmm. Like, I was just listening to a Tom Clancy book all night. Like, that was pretty much, it wasn't really that bad. It just sucked being sick in the throat, because the throat would randomly, like, keep me up. But anyway, yeah, so I figure out all this, and then I talk to Jay, and I'm like, he's like, cool. He's like, well, let me know if you need anything. And I'm like, Jay, I need your advice. And he's like, yeah, what? And I'm like, I think I gotta call Nicole's parents and tell them I don't know where she is. Which I really did not want to do. Really, like, I was just like the epitome of my shame to be like, I lost your daughter. Like, first sail, right out of the gate, gone. Like, sayonara. And I'm like, I think if I sign up for her Patreon, I can figure out where on her Patreon, depending on the level, and, like, I'm looking at your Patreon, I couldn't figure it out. Oh, yeah. And I'm talking to Jay, and he's like, dude, you should just call her parents. It's the quickest way. And I'm like, you're right. Stop trying to save face and just do it. And thankfully, it was your dad that was the first one that came up in contact. Okay. Not your mom. Yeah. Your dad was super cool about the whole thing. And he was literally like, do not call the mom. Like, whatever you do. He's like, for my sake, dude, don't do it.
What did you say to him?
I was like, Jim, how are you? It's Daniel. And he's like, I was like, I'm good, Daniel. I was like, how are you and Nicole? And I'm like, well, the thing and it was so bad. But the saving grace is that I remembered you had that the
tracker.
What's it called? We got to give that thing a shout out.
Garmin InReach Mini.
2. Yeah, and it's, again, mine might be able to do it too.
Yeah, it's just a little satellite device that sends out a pin tracker. If you have a certain
Gives
subscription.
lat long when it.
And you can share it with whoever you want, and then
it's just a link.
Password protected if you want to do that too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, and I figured out where you were, and you were like 10 miles south of the center of Inagua, and I just remember being like, why didn't she head up? I headed up. That was like what was going on in my mind. Because so before it got dark, I spent all this energy sailing upwind to make sure at night, no matter what hit me, I could fall down. Because I knew I didn't have the energy to fight anything, but I could always sail down, and I could just be on the helm for that.
Yeah.
That was my best bet. But if I had to, I didn't want to miss the island.
Yeah.
So I went over the peninsula, the underwater peninsula. Like I came close to hitting Sail Rock, and then I see your track, and you're like 20 miles south of the island, and I'm like, motherfucker! Like I gotta go out and go get her now.
Which island was I?
This island.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you came in 20 miles south of where I did.
Oh. Yeah,
I came in close.
I did. I came because my Navigational quit.
Well, because of a lot of things. Yeah, your upwind advantage wouldn't have been a whole lot of things. So anyway, I just start heading out, and I'm getting super because I'm like trying to like vaguely get. There's one thing I love that it tracks your stuff, but it doesn't make it easy to put it on like anything else.
Yeah.
So I would have to copy paste it to Google Maps. Google Maps then would give me its own lat long that would match up with Navionics, because you can't go directly to Navionics with the lat long gives you.
Okay.
It gives you a messed up way to do it.
Okay.
So I had to like figure that out, and so I'm actually on my phone are all these pins of all my tracks of you.
Okay.
Of going through each one. That's why I'm using a little man overboard. And so I'm tracking them, I'm putting a line, I'm putting like an intercept, and I'm doing this, I'm sending all this to your dad. So hopefully it redeems me a little bit in his eyes as like the guy that abandoned his daughter. He's at least trying to go get her back again.
No.
You know? And yeah, and it was just so funny. So funny. I was about to just start heading for Matthewtown because I was convinced I was convinced that the pins were ghost pins an hour or 3 hours late.
Oh.
So I was convinced you were in Matthewtown by the very end. So this is after, I think I've been sailing for like an hour and a half out to sea.
Crazy. Okay.
Like I'm going south, like just away from everything because I'm just like going to go get her. And it was funny, honestly. It felt so much more confident doing that than leaving Luperon, which is so funny just because now I'd been sailing again.
I'm so glad you did that though.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. So what's so funny is, I'm about to turn my direction, and I finally see your mast, and I'm like, there's nobody else. It's definitely Nicole, 100% heading for it. It was a solid like 3 miles off of my pins. I guess my conversions weren't quite accurate or something like that. I was in the right area. I was considering putting up the drone. Like when I first left, there wasn't as much wind. It was like this. So I was actually going to fly the drone with my Mavic 2 Zoom. So I was actually going to I was going to find you with that. Like there was no way I was not going to find you with that. But then the wind picks up, so I'm like sailing hard for you. Anyway, so I see you and I start sailing like directly for you. And then I get the cutest little radio. And I really wish I'd gotten it on film, but I'm pretty sure you said, sailing vessel Arda to the sailboat off my starboard beam.
Can you, do you copy?
Yeah, you're like, do you copy? And I'm like, well, first off, I'm off your bow. And you're like, Daniel? And I'm like, hi, Nicole. And I didn't mean to be so, I was going to be all romantic, but I don't know what happened. I was just annoyed that you thought I was off your beam, and I'm like, because that's why I was like...
You were off my starboard beam from my angle.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you were low.
Yeah.
You would have missed... You didn't... When you saw me, had you seen the island yet?
No.
No way! You hadn't seen the island yet.
No, I saw these little gray dots, but I was like, that's not my island. That's not my island.
That was the island. I could see...
No, because according to how fast I was going, I would have arrived at Matthewtown
Nicole,
another 4 hours later.
I left the island and I kept looking back at the island. It's the same island, yeah. So, wow, yes.
No, wait, I thought Matthewtown was further along.
It is, but you got to hit the island first. It's over. It's all the way over at the corner, but you don't aim for the corner. You aim for the middle. So that way, once you hit the middle, you can go left. Because if you aim for the corner and you're too far left, you miss the island.
Yeah, that was my problem.
You were gonna miss the island.
I know. That's why I was freaking out.
Ooh, you were probably when you saw that.
I was freaking
when you saw that boat, how happy were you? Just for whoever it was.
When I saw the boat, okay, you want a little bit of my backstory, or just this?
Just this one real quick.
Okay.
Then I want to hear all
I
yours.
thought it was a lighthouse at first.
You thought
I was like, is that a lighthouse? Because
There is a lighthouse.
All I saw was this little white thing, and at first it didn't move, and I was like, okay, that's a lighthouse, so I must be close to land. I saw birds and everything, and I did see some hazy land, and I saw an island earlier on, and I was like, that's my island. And I thought, no, I'm supposed to stay at 300 for another 4 hours, and at that time, I will reach the end of the island. And
you would have reached Cuba.
Well,
I'm looking at it over your shoulder. You would have reached Cuba.
Yeah, I would have been in trouble. My phone quit working and it wouldn't charge, and that's the only way I can navigate because I'm too dumb to download Navigational on my iPad, and I didn't have Starlink and everything else,
it's right here. It's right here.
I know. And so when that died, I suddenly realized, wow, the only way I can navigate myself here
is off your last heading.
Is off my last heading. And my approximate speed, my estimate of my speed.
I can just feel the comment section right now, just bubbling over with
fear,
you're supposed to have more than one way to navigate.
The fear that I had inside of me when I realized, oh my God, if I miss this island, I'm going. If I think it's this island and I go in and I hit a reef, and if I go in at night.
So as long as you don't go in at night, you're pretty good. As long as you just keep looking over and there's any daylight you can see. But
and then my phone would charge where it would, on iPhone, it has the red battery, and then you put the cord in, and it is just the red battery. And so then it would eventually turn on, but as soon as it turned on, it would just be a number 1, and it wouldn't continue charging it. So with that 1%, I was able to pull up Navigational really fast, and then it would die, but I would see where I was.
But you get one glimpse.
And I was only able to do that once. And then
you should probably put that thing in a bag of rice or something.
I did, but I was trying to do all this and trying to get my phone to charge, and also trying to keep my heading. And I was thinking, well, if I heave to, and I was like, I can't heave to because then I'm gonna drift, and then my heading is gonna be off.
Wait, hold on. Yeah. Well, finish because I gotta know what happened on mine. Okay. So you see what you think is a lighthouse.
Yeah, and
it's getting closer to you at a rate that's maybe.
Meanwhile, I've been hailing you every hour. Just thinking, I was like, maybe if I hail him, he'll be able to hear.
So you started hailing on 16?
Yeah.
When you saw land? Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe there are other sailboats or other boats around me that I can't see. So I was like, all vessels, this is Sailing Vessel Arda. Does anybody hear me? And nobody responded.
Was that all you said?
Yeah. Multiple times.
Usually you want to put something more than just, does anybody hear me? You want to put, the nature of your distress.
Oh.
And it would actually be pon. This is Sailing Vessel Arda, with no way to navigate.
Oh my God.
In need of assistance.
Yeah, because I would have missed the island.
You would have missed. Okay,
but then when I saw you.
So you see what you first think is a lighthouse.
Yeah, and then I see the lighthouse moving. I'm like, that's a sailboat. And then I'm thinking, should I sail towards it? But it looked like you were going the other way, and you were starting to disappear into the fog. And I was like, I'll never catch it. And if I lose my heading, then I'm going to lose where I'm supposed to go. So like, nope, I'll just I'll just stay true to my heading. So. And
I had been actively going towards you for a solid 20 minutes.
Well,
I think,
that's when I saw the boat get closer, and I was like, that looks like it could be Daniel's sails. Could he have gotten hung up or something? Or there's no way I caught up to him, so I was trying to figure out why you would possibly be there.
Before you hailed me, you figured it was me, but why would I be there?
Well, I saw the blue.
Oh, you saw the blue in my boat?
Ever so slightly. No, the blue on the canvas.
Oh.
And I was hoping it was you.
Yeah.
But I also was like, it can't be him because, first of all, he's probably, I don't know, at some anchorage that we discussed, and I forgot which anchorage.
He could have been in the Gementos by now.
I didn't know which anchorage we decided to go to either. So I was just going to go to Matthewtown because that seemed the easiest option, especially at night with no navigation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For exactly those reasons, that was the spot.
Yeah, okay. So then I was thinking, I was like, well, if I get my spotlight out and I can shine it on land, but then I'm not going to be able to see where land is to shine my spotlight on it. I was thinking, well, maybe if I get closer, Daniel will hear me on the radio and will come out and get me. And then when I saw the boat, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to go chase you down or not, or stick to my heading, you eventually did get closer. And that's when I called you on 6-8 first, and you didn't answer. So then that's when I switched to
16.
16.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, at that point, I didn't think it was you because
it wasn't on 6-8.
Yeah. And I was like, and I was wondering if you'd still have your radio on, too.
I put my radio on scan the whole night, hoping I would hear you. because I was like 6'8" was kind of a dumb idea. We should have been on 16, and then moved it to 6'8".
Okay.
We're both a little rusty, but yeah. So you radio,
and I think what I hailed was sailing vessel to my starboard. This is Arda. Can you hear me?
And that's when I was like, well, first off, I'm off your bow.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my gosh.
You're like, Daniel?
No, I was so scared. I was so scared.
Oh my gosh.
I turned my Starlink on thinking, because I switched it to Roam, but Starlink said it wouldn't transfer it over until December 16th, and I was like, well, that's dumb. But then I thought, maybe they'll still transfer it if I turn it on. But nope, my Starlink didn't work.
Yeah, you got to pay extra money for global priority.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. All right, so now your side. So the squall hits, and then what happens when the squall hits for you?
Squall hits, and I can't really see what's going on with my jib because it's on the other side. So I'm just kind of broached, I guess, a little bit. Kaijin is freaking out, and
you broached hard. I watched you.
Yeah, like water started flooding in onto the deck, and I got scared and into the cockpit. And Kaijin got swallowed up by the water. I thought it was gonna go overboard.
Where did he end up? Like on the gunnel side?
I don't remember. I think he was still in the cockpit.
In the little.
Yeah.
But water was flooding into there. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
But my decks are pretty low to the water.
Yeah.
My freeboard's low. No, it was a scary start, and I thought, wow, can I even do this? And then got Kaijin taken care of. He was so scared.
Yeah.
And then, put my sails down, my main and my jib. And when I put my jib up, I couldn't tell when it was all the way in because my staysail was still out. And then I guess I just kind of sat there in shock. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to continue on. But then I realized my autopilot was broken. So then at that point, I was like, well, I'm not going back to Luperon because that's into the wind. So, and then I thought, can I do this? Am I really up for this? I'm exhausted. I didn't sleep well last night. 170 nautical miles, and I'm going to go a lot slower. Can I hand steer for that whole time? And I started doing the math in my head. I was like, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I can do it. So I just decided to do it.
Looking at your tracks, like you kept, because I realized I went much higher. You stayed much more like kind of level.
Yeah.
Like I did sort of like an L because I wanted my upwind advantage during the daylight hours when I could see the waves. Because I didn't want to be beamed to the waves at night.
Oh.
I wanted to have the waves directly behind me at night, which was sort of a good idea.
They were behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said you caught 2 extra squalls after that?
Yeah, I caught one.
I watched those things as they were to my south, and I was like...
One was right near Monte Cristi. And it was mostly just rain.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to miss me, but it didn't.
How much wind do you think was on that first squall that hit us? What do you think the wind got to for that?
Like 30 knots?
I think, maybe more like 40.
40?
I was like... Because I definitely had 28 during... As the night came on, I was not looking forward to the night.
Oh,
I was like
me either.
dreading the night. It was like I couldn't see anything, and it's just funny. You really just have to do it. You really just have to commit. Just be like, if I hit something, I hit something. It's I hope I'm bigger than whatever I hit.
Well, I wasn't even thinking about that, but when my autopilot quit, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to drive through the night like this.
We both got to work on our autopilots. I mean, you definitely more than me, but.
Yeah.
The thing is too is like my cockpit's substantially more enclosed. I was able to be dry. I could lay out.
I put my foul weather gear on and then I didn't really feel it.
Yeah, it felt really. I mean.
And I had my spreader lights on, so it was like the sun was shining just on my boat.
You had your spreader lights on?
Oh yeah.
There must have been so much electricity. And then you can't.
No, they're LEDs.
But that kills your night vision. You can't see anything.
I
then.
didn't care. I wanted.
You should care.
I wanted to be lit up.
So
yeah.
So what happens?
Because at that point, my mast light wasn't working anymore and broken and was just swinging around in a circle.
Oh, okay. So you did it partially for comfort, but mostly so other boats would see.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you. One thing.
Also, it was a super dark night.
So what happens on that is there's bioluminescence usually out in the water at night. Mm-hmm. Is on super dark nights like that, when the waves are big enough to break, is they'll break and they'll glow for you. so you can see. So I was adjusting I turn everything. I always do this. I turn everything down.
Oh my gosh, I missed it. I missed it all.
Oh, it's not like no, it's not like great bioluminescence. It just makes it so I can steer with the waves. So I can feel when a wave comes on, and then I bear down for it. And then I pick up.
I got a good feel of the boat by that point that I was able to just steer through the waves.
So all right, so you do all this. I'm trying to think. So you broke your head sail, you broke your autopilot, your masthead light.
Yeah.
What else? Your carrots looks like seawater in them.
Oh yeah, my phone. My garden's there. It's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. My phone.
My aloe plant. Not sure how. Doing much better.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. My aloe plant got sunburned. Didn't know it could do that. Hey, I mean, once you get some sleep, though, you're going to be a lot stronger on the other side of this.
I hope so.
Yeah. I was thinking about it after the fact. I should have messed with you on the VHF when we first saw you. And you're like, sailing vessels. I should have been like, hello, who is this? Like,
I would
have been like, no, I'm sailing to Cuba.
I would have responded. I would have been like, please help me. My navigation is down, and I don't know where Matthew Town is, but it's about to be dark, and I'm going to get there after nightfall. I really need help.
Oh, my goodness. So, takeaways. I'm going to go first.
Okay.
Foul weather gear much sooner when you see the squall coming. In hindsight, I would have taken down my main before the squall hit, but I didn't know that the wind was going to continue that direction. But considering, I didn't know what it was going to do, and my main is a pain to put up and down. But in hindsight, I do wish I dropped it, especially with the predicted wind. I was going to be downwind. So I wish I had done that. I had a few things that I wish I'd put away. Not much, though.
Oh, yeah. Everything in my boat was everywhere. My sewing machine had fallen over from the squall.
Yeah.
My freezer had fallen over. I didn't think I needed to strap them down.
I think somebody told you recently that you should organize your boat a little more and get rid of some junk on there and just strap things down.
Most of it is gotten rid of. There's really not a lot of junk.
Anyway, you know what's funny though is during the night it occurred to me too, crap, what happens if my phone goes away? And what's funny is at the time I was just like, God, I better not lose it. And I was like, but I'm gonna get there in daylight hours, and I've memorized the map enough that I can do it in the dark. Or I can do it in the daylight without the thing.
Yeah.
But then I think in the morning I was like, that's a stupid idea. I keep 3 tablets, 2 tablets for my battery bank and then 1 for the entertainment. All 3 of them have Navionics at all times on them. And so I was like, yeah, that probably... And then I keep at least 1 emergency phone.
Meanwhile, I pulled out all of my old iPads, and none of them would turn on. So
this one should definitely have it.
Yes.
Yeah, because I basically have a similar thing where I've got a big tab I like to use. So anyway, but no, I think it's good to look at these things as lessons.
I'm so glad that you connected the dots though and figured that I came.
I had to do some Sherlock Holmes.
You saved me.
Well, to be fair,
I would have missed the island.
And thank you. I'm very happy to hear that. I also feel like I abandoned you too, though. So it's a little bit.
I told you to go, so it wasn't on my mind at all.
Yeah, I guess you weren't that screwed at that point.
No, I just knew I was going to be going slow. I didn't want to hold you up.
I'm curious what you would have sailed with your Yankee out.
I don't know.
You know. Also, I think it's funny that I've already run aground this year. Did I tell you that?
Here?
Yeah, on my way in, I just crunched the bottom, and I was like, whoops, and just kept going. What else did I learn? I also learned we should have had our Starlinks ready to go.
Yeah, we should have had Rome beforehand.
And to be honest, too, we should have tested how crappy your little handheld is.
Yeah.
That was a big no-no. Something else occurred to me on this trip that I really didn't like.
What?
You don't have an emergency life raft.
No, I don't. I realized that too because I started freaking out, thinking, "What if my boat sinks?
You are
screwed. What if it catches on fire?
What if anything?"
I know. I thought I would tie.
I have a dinghy.
I thought about it. I would tie my fenders together, and I would grab Kaijin.
Jesus Christ!
And a thing of water, and we would all live on the fenders with my Garmin inReach until somebody came to rescue us. And that's when I plugged my Garmin in to make sure it would be 100% charged at any time, so I would get 48 hours out of it.
That is good. Another recommendation is, when you do your fender raft up, grab your paddleboard too, because you could at least blow it up while you're out there, and that gets your body out of the water. You'd be able to dry, and you wouldn't go hypothermic.
I was thinking of what else floated on my boat. Didn't even think of my paddleboard.
Also, what I think you should do for your next sail is have your paddleboard inflated and just drag it behind the boat, just kind of like, you drag it so like the ass end is up out of the water.
Yeah.
And it can't really mess up that way.
I thought, wow, what if I have a fire or I sink or something?
Yeah, I was thinking about a lot of that stuff too. You definitely do have to just commit to leaving though, and we definitely had that under our belts. Neither of us wanted to stay at all.
I did think about if I was going to go to Punta Rusia or Monte Cristi, but I'm glad I didn't because I would have been caught in the squall. And I also thought about heaving too at night. and then continuing on the next day because I thought
that would have been smart if because you don't have radar.
Yeah.
You don't have any way of determining anything.
And I thought it was going to take me 2 nights. And then I did the math and I thought, well, no, if I can keep this up, I'll get there right before dusk, which is what happened.
Jesus.
And then my phone broke. It didn't really register with me how serious that was until I realized I couldn't navigate.
Not only can you not navigate, your depth sounder's on that?
Yeah. Everything.
You didn't back up depth sounder to this too?
No.
Why not?
Because I didn't think about that.
And so I remember what was tough for me too was I remember thinking that a patron had gotten you an emergency life raft.
Oh.
And then I remember thinking, no, that's not true.
No.
And then I remember thinking like, was the Coast Guard ship really there? And I remember thinking a whole bunch of like weird stuff. But yeah, it was just like I was back and forth all night on so many things on it. Yeah, so I think actionable. Now we've discussed what did go wrong that we should have prevented but didn't. In the future, I'm having my foul weather gear up there with me every time just so I don't get wet. Organizing just a little bit better than I did. I think I got lucky on a few things. Like I don't know how that bag of potatoes didn't burst. I need to fix the belt on my autopilot. That will hopefully would have been able to come out and help you. Because what's more likely that would have happened is that big old Coast Guard ship would have come out and they would have yoinked you off the boat and your boat. Oh. A lot of times they sink the boat too, so it can't be. I don't know if they would necessarily.
That's a mayday.
Yes, when you hit the SOS, you're effectively calling out a mayday. And when people come to help you, they do what they like. They don't have to help you get to your destination. They have to just help you.
Yeah.
And if helping you conflicts with their destination, well, they only save you. And there's plenty of stories of people that like the captain stayed on the ship, and the other passengers got off and somebody came and he was never seen again, or he was seen again, or whatever. So yeah, but long story short.
Yeah, that could have been really serious if you hadn't come out and helped.
I'm really, really happy that I did.
Yeah.
That was, heck of a story. Heck of a story.
I even started thinking, well, maybe I could think really hard and figure out how to do celestial navigation with my fist, or with the sextant.
But I could think really hard.
Yeah. No, and then I was like, wait, I have a picture from when I took a picture and posted it on my Patreon, and I looked it up there, but it was all blurry. I couldn't figure anything out.
Well, you look for the Big Dipper, and the handle of the Big Dipper is going to point north, I believe. But I don't worry about celestial navigation, because I have 3 backups. 4. I have 4 backups, 3 that are ready to go at any given moment.
It could have been so bad.
You know,
I was keenly aware of it at some point.
Almost is a funny thing, because it didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know? You gonna sleep good tonight, you think? And I'm hoping this anchorage stays like this, because we might as well be in Luperon right now. It is just
wonderful, and no bugs.
Yeah, and no bugs, and no poopy water, and clear water.
Yeah, and a beach, a nice beach.
Several, like, world-class beaches nearby.
My whole back hurts when you do that.
You want me to stop?
No, I want to keep going. I'm just letting you know it's very sore. I sat at the helm for 36 hours. Ow. Oh my gosh. And I would brace myself. This hand was on the tiller like this, and this hand was holding the cockpit edge, but then I would also have a rope across the tiller so we had more leverage.
Were you clipped in at all?
No.
Jesus, Nicole. Did you ever clip in?
No.
Like when you went forward?
No.
Jesus Christ, Nicole.
I thought about it.
Even I clip in sometimes when I go forward.
Yeah.
Like if at all, I think it's bad.
Yeah.
Your decision too is like seeing how you are now. Like I have a lot more energy right now than I ever did. Like it's just literally it's not being sick.
I think it was the fear of getting lost at sea that really wore me out. But
Yeah.
I was also really tired during the night.
You know, I think it was.
But when it all clicked and I was like, oh my gosh, I could be right here and go right past the island.
Which it sounds like
Because
you were
my
on track to do.
Yeah. I've only read that in books.
Want to call your parents tonight?
Yeah.
Let them know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to hear I didn't abandon you. And I'm happy to hear I saved you, I guess. I'm just happy to hear I didn't abandon you.
No,
Well, not Not intentionally, at least.
I
or
told you to go.
Not when.
You thought I'd gone back. I didn't think that you thought that at all.
You were just so slow, and I was going 4 knots, and I was like, how can she possibly...
I don't think I'd started then. I don't know what I was doing.
You must have heaved 2 or something.
I didn't heave 2. I was dropping a sail. Maybe I was just getting oriented. I have no idea.
Jesus Christ.
I have no idea.
You need to sleep. You need to take care of yourself.
I'm very tired.
Yeah. When you're not so sore, I'll give you a massage. But anyway.
Okay.
All right, last bit. Any last words of wisdom to the viewers?
Don't buy your own boat.
No. We've all been there as boat owners when you get done with a really tough trip and you're just like, I don't want to own a boat anymore. But we're probably going to be here for a couple days, and this is paradise where we are.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Do a shorter shakedown sail if you've never done a shakedown sail before.
That's right.
Just go out and try all the systems before you go do the real thing.
Yeah, something I was thinking about on this trip too. You did 1 shakedown sail. I mean,
With you.
With me.
On a super light calm day.
Super light calm day.
Where I didn't test the autopilot. I hadn't even finished the anchor light.
To be fair, so did I, but I've been sailing my boat for 6 years, and I was like, it's downwind. I don't even need sails.
Yeah.
Like, I mostly just need a rudder.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I'll just get there eventually. My power consumption's been a little bit weird, though. So I'm gonna have to sort that out, but it's not a huge deal. Definitely not as bad as you breaking everything on your boat. At least your Starlink's still back there.
Yeah. Can't find my GoPro. I have to look through my whole boat.
Yeah, your boat got pretty tossed.
I just had it out the other day, too.
But anyway, like she was saying, though, I think that everybody, when they get done with a rough trip, they're just like, I don't want to sail anymore. And you're definitely a little bit in that right now.
Yeah.
We have some warm, delicious buccaneros. We provisioned the day before we left, like, literally $100 worth of the best restaurant in town. He's not even open. He only opened for us. And we got baby back ribs, schnitzel, pierogies, goulash. At least I got all those things. And you got all that but -1.
Yeah.
I think you didn't get ribs.
No, I didn't get the schnitzel.
Schnitzel's pretty
Definitely
good.
got the ribs.
All right, cool. I'm eating ribs tonight.
Me too.
Eating ribs. We're going to eat like
And the
kings and
goulash.
queens. Yeah. And then we'll go check in soon to this country that we love so much. It is just so weird. We are really like, there is nobody out here where we are. Like, nobody.
Yeah, it's very, very
This is a
nice.
remote spot, and I love it. So, hey, chin up.
Yeah, we're here.
It
We
can't
made it.
possibly get worse than this.
No.
It's just not possible
We're
without the
here.
boat sinking. At least for you. I mean, I think they get a lot worse for me, but for you, you definitely, you rock bottomed out.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
How was Kaijin for the rest of the trip?
Gaijin was terrified. He stayed in the bed, and whenever I would go down to grab something, he looked at me with these big, sad, scary eyes. And then I left him down there because it was too hectic, and then at night I wouldn't be able to see him. He didn't eat, sleep, poop, or pee for a day and a half. And then
Probably get him back to your boat then, so he doesn't do those things on my
there's
boat.
nothing in his system. And then today I tried to give him water. I would stick my finger in it, let him lick my finger. He did that, and he had 1 lick of water, and then tried to feed him food, but I think he was a little seasick or something. He didn't want to eat. So when I go back, I'll feed him.
He was eating little bits of puppy chow that was like scattered around your cockpit.
was?
Yeah, and then and I meant to tell you, I was getting super seasick as I tried to like come around. Like I was not doing good because that's what my text message says to you is like, I gotta go faster because I'm getting seasick.
Yeah.
And I knew if I got seasick on top of being normal sick,
Yeah.
I was done. But also, one thing I did that was really smart, because I know I haven't been out in a while yet, is I made sure I had a really good breakfast, and I took a Bonine this morning. And that's a seasick medication. It's not super strong. And then what happened was I started, and I would have actually gotten seasick, but I took a Dramamine. And Dramamine's motto should be, you can't be seasick if you're unconscious. And so that's why I think why I was like so delirious when I was seeing like the golden ship and the Coast Guard ship, because I was like half awake, super beat, and I had this like I couldn't figure it out for the longest time. But then I remember, so I smashed my face off of the corner of the wood, my dresser in there, and I just remember thinking like that could have been my teeth or my eye socket. Like I smacked it hard. Yeah. We're gonna have to figure out better etiquette about coming onto my boat in the middle of the night.
That's fair.
When it's not in Luperon.
Okay.
In the harbor.
Okay.
Is that fair?
I'll do like a knock.
Just don't
pattern.
come. Just keep saying my name in your little girl voice. Just don't come down the stairs.
Okay. You know, my back was hurting too in that one spot when I was underway.
All right.
On my spine, but
Hope you folks enjoyed this. I'm gonna give Nicole a nice little massage. and take care of her a little bit, and then we're gonna enjoy some paradise tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, we jumped in the water.
We did.
I jumped in first.
Hey, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this raw look at our lifestyle out here. And as well, I hope you learned a thing or two. Be sure to check out the actual video events that happened on both Nicole's channel and mine, and I'll see you guys next adventure. Cheers. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. I hope you feel inspired to begin adventures of your own. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. For an exclusive, in-depth look at this adventure lifestyle and to further support my channel, become a member of my Patreon crew. Link in the description. I'll see you on the next adventure.